Yeah.
Non-apologetic news.
I kind of feel like a bit of a fool. So we got to figure it out today. The answer is yes, I am a fool. But I pre-ordered the PlayStation VR2, right? But with the pre-orders through PlayStation, you're not actually charged till they ship. And I'm kind of getting a little bit concerned about the $550, $70 price tag on it, that I'm about to have to pay. My concern is it worth it? I want to figure that out right now. I want to go through the options and make a decision whether we keep it, I keep it, or whether I cancel that and let the next unfortunate soul pay the $550 for a VR unit. Here's my thoughts. For survival horror, that thing would be amazing. Because even now, like I just finished Callisto Protocol, and whenever I play a true survival horror game now, I only play it at night. I turn all the lights off. I put the PlayStation headset on, because instead of just hearing left to right, I can hear exactly where something is to where, I'm not worried about problems of life. I'm not worried about nonsense. I'm in that game, right? So I think VR would take it to the next level, but are there going to be enough survival horror titles to justify that price tag, because we got Resident Evil Village is, of course, going to be in VR, I think, on launch day. And then they're talking about Resident Evil 4 is going to have VR elements. I don't know what that means. Does that mean at a certain point I'm playing and then they're just like, throw the headset on, 3, 2. Like what does that mean? Have you looked into anything on the VR here?
Not too much. I mean, I read the list of games coming out.
So right off the bat, we have what seems to be a masterpiece, which is the Horizon Call of the Mountain. Just a little snippet from the trailer and picture that you'll be able to completely turn around, completely 360 everything. See, that looks crazy sick, right? And it looks like a cool game, period. But just because you're in VR, that I think that's going to make it so much great. But that was built from the ground up to utilize this. So is this going to be the only real big title? Because you got to think, if I keep the VR, I also have to immediately spend a little bit of money on a game. Because what's it just going to sit there? I mean, I'm too foolish for that. I'm going to spend some more money. PlayStation's got me by the bizzles. So we got that, but here's a big question I have. Can I play VR sitting down?
As on this, I don't know. I have one of the Oculuses.
The Quest 2s or whatever? Yeah.
And there's different settings. You can set it where, you're running around your house or whatnot, which I would not advise.
So you're running in place, though. I'm not actually moving, right?
No, there's a setting where you can actually move around.
Ooh.
Go. Or there's a setting where, you have make a circle around you.
It like maps the room.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, it's got joysticks on it where whatever you're doing, you move your character. So you're not like moving, walking around. But, I mean, you still work your arms to do stuff and everything. And, there has been games where I set it where you can't play sitting.
Because at my thought, if I'm sitting, then all I have for the VR is essentially the head rotation at that point. And
yeah.
I mean, is this really a gimmick? Because throughout a lot of these trailers I've seen, a lot of these games look like mobile games. So my worry is you spend all this money on this technological advancement in gaming only to play games that look like they're from 1994, because that's not an even trade-off for me. I want the VR in an awesome environment of a game, right? Now, I did see something cool. It was from the Dark Pictures series, which I'm not extremely familiar with, but it's a horror game. So the VR2 has eye tracking. It can track your eyes. So they posted something on Twitter, which was just like a 10-second clip, and it showed mannequins in a room, right? And the headset knew when you blinked your eyes. And if you blinked them once, the mannequins got closer, and there were now 4 of them. If you blink again, there's now 10 of them right here, and if you blink a third time, you now die. And that's real blinks, you know what I mean? It's not like character blinks, it's what you're doing. But that got me thinking about survival horror and eye tracking. Okay, instead of having like you walk into a room and let's say there's a bookcase here and a shelf here. Instead of having a preset thing where when you go over here, something pops out from the bookshelf, they could have it programmed to where, let's say I'm looking over here at the bookshelf. So because of that, it's going to jump out over here when my eyes go back that direction. You know what I mean? How crazy would that be?
That's pretty insane. Especially that eye tracking.
It has to have the game to back it though. You know, it can't be a mobile game. I don't know anything about The Walking Dead, right? But check out this
neither.
little piece of a trailer. It's called Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Our throats like a demon in the night.
Oh, see, that doesn't look too
To
bad.
ensure the future of this forsaken city.
You know, I could get down with that game, but I do think graphically they get kind of worse from there. So I went through and watched a little piece of the trailer of more or less everything. I did see some cool stuff like a game called After the Fall, another game called Behemoth, which seems to be a bit of a scary game. Now, I could see Horizon getting old though. Like, I don't know how realistically you put your hands, but if you have your bow and you're pulling back and bing, but you got to shoot the enemy like 20.
Yeah, because on the Oculus, I got Resident Evil 4 on there.
Oh.
And yeah, you sit there running. You got your pistol. You need to reload. Yeah, you reach down, grab a clip, slide it in the bottom, cock it back. Shotgun. And you pull it out, and you have to use both hands. One on the trigger, one for.
Now, what pulls
your
the
palm.
trigger? Is it an imaginary trigger, or is it something you're actually pulling?
No, yeah, there's triggers on the controls for it, or it's pretty much like a PlayStation or Xbox controller, just split in two. For the most part.
So you're pressing a button to engage the trigger pull or the bow fling or whatever?
Yeah. Like when you're holding on the shotgun, when you're gripping the pump,
Right.
like there's a trigger you hold down, so it's for the grip.
Okay.
And then you sit there, boom, but when you go to load it, putting in each.
Now, does it
shell.
ever mess up where you're trying to do that and it's not like taking, you know?
Sometimes. So far in that game, the shotgun is the hardest thing to use for me.
Do you think it is worth the cash to take the gamble that they're going to come up with something spectacular, or the gamble that maybe Horizon and a once or twice a year survival horror is all that we get?
That's a tough call because if they put out the games, go for it. Yeah,
Then it's worth it, right?
Definitely worth it. But then that's, like I said, that's the gamble there. Are they going to put out those games?
All right. Well, I think it is time to make a decision. And I think I have made my decision. Will I cancel the pre-order? Will I not? What happened to my drum roll? I think flat out right here, we're going to keep the pre-order. We are going to keep the PSVR2. We are going to simp out. And we are going to let them drain my bank account. Let that sucker get to smoking because of my love for survival horror. That is literally, besides Metroidvanias, I'd say probably 80% of anything I play. But that is it. We will let you know if I can make rent after paying for this hefty thing right here. We thank y'all for stopping by, and we will see y'all next week.
Non-apologetic news.